And you can let me know if you can see the screen.
We can.
Okay, perfect. I just turned off my camera for a moment. It's giving me that bad network, and I want you to see what we're here to share. First of all, my name is Maureen Asselin. I'm an educator from the Halton Catholic District School Board on a secondment at TVO. I've always loved TVO, and I'm so excited to share our newest resource. And I'm going to let Gail introduce herself. She's, just so you know, an amazing educator, and I feel honored to work with her tonight.
And hi, I'm Gail Calhoun. I'm a retired educator. I was in the classroom for 31 years, and then another 3 years I spent in the United States teaching. And then since that time, I've been working with TVO. So for the past 10 years, I've been with TVO. And I will be presenting the section on TVO Mathify. Back to you, Maureen.
Thanks, Gail. Very excited. And we just want to start with our land recognition. We're coming from different areas of Ontario, and just take a moment to acknowledge that we are in different areas, and we do use this with our students as well as with our own kids. One of the things I loved when my students came into my classroom was they're like, oh, where do I live? What treaty am I under? And then they go home and share that with their families. So the link is there. We will send out the slide deck afterwards. We'll send it to Teresa, and she'll send it out to whoever would like it. TVO, as some of you know, has been around for 50 years, my whole life, and it's a journey. It's shifting from teaching to learning, and now we're doing a lot of digital learning, so I'm going to let them share with you first, and then we'll fill in the gaps.
Quality of educational opportunity has long been a stated goal of education in this province.
It began as a vision of public television as a place for education. TVO laid the foundation, nurturing curiosity and creating moments of wonder.
It was the first place in my life I ever fitted in.
Exploration, discovery, establishing icons that live on in our hearts.
That's tonight on the agenda.
Becoming a pillar of excellence in education, a cultural mainstay.
But if they represent the past, what about the future?
Welcome to the new TVO, a digital learning publisher where minds of all ages can learn anytime, anywhere. Preparing our kids for success in school and life. Leveling the playing field of education, building understanding, broadening perspectives.
Do you worry that this now has become a partisan issue?
Sparking conversations.
Now let's start with the federal election.
Politics in Ontario is a complicated system. How do words bring people together? Bringing
learning to life. This has been a half century of awesome.
But we think the best is yet to come.
Together we can revolutionize the future of learning in Ontario. TVO, 50 and still learning.
So I really want to say thank you to all of our parents and guardians and families out there, because part of our learning journey always starts with at home. And for being here, we know how busy the time it is right now, especially with everything going on in the world. So we thank you. We're here to support you. And these are our resources. I call it like the ladder of supports. They're available for Ontario students, educators, and families. So TVO Kids is our K-5 resource. And also you can have, if you have your youngest learner 0, there's a section for preschool, so that's there. TVO Empower is our K-6 math and STEM game. Some of our students in high school essential skills do use that course as well. Gail will be really doing a deep dive into TVO Mathify. Again, this is one of our gems that she's going to tell you about, and now it's for grades 6 to 10. Our ILC is our Independent Learning Center for our secondary learners, and I'll be touching a little bit on that, which falls under now under our newest resource, which I'll be talking to you in a moment about. TVO Learn is for kindergarten to grade 12. And TVO in the Classroom, it is really a resource for educators, but what we've been finding is parents are looking for things to share with their children at home right now if they're learning at home. So I'm going to mention that as well. And that is a resource for kindergarten to grade 12. All of these resources we're sharing with you are all free. They're all from the Ontario curriculum, and they match our curriculum, which is really key as an educator and also as a parent. So we're going to dive right into TVO Learn was released officially last week, I believe it was. And again, it's a resource. Right now it's for grades 1 to 12. And after the winter break, we'll also include our kindergarten learners. So I really wanted to focus on for our secondary panel, our grade 9 to 12 learners. TVO Learn, it is effective for parents. It was created for parents and guardians at home, not sure where to go for resources. And knowing that it's a trusted place to go, that it's advertising free, one-stop shop, everything is here for you. And it really was created by Ontario educators with parents and students in mind. It's 24/7. This is now on TVO Learn, and I put the link there, which we can send out and put in the chat afterwards. The ILC open house is now open for all of our secondary learners for grades 9 to 12. There's 144 courses in English and French. It's available 24/7. Right now, all of the activities are there. You can copy the links. You can go through the courses of choice. Say your child might be interested in potentially a science course, but not sure which science course. Do they want physics? Do they want biology? Do they want chemistry? They can take a look and see, I'm really more towards chemistry. So this is all there for you. This is what it looks like. You can go in and browse the courses, and then it's all been created with educators, but with the students in mind, and all current and up to date to the current curriculum. This is what it looks like right now. Welcome to our open house. Usually I get the question, how long will the open house be open for? What we've been told is it will be for the entire 2020-2021 school year, so till the end of June. Again, all open, all free, grade 9 to 12, 144 courses. And it's really neat to see students go through and say, you know, I really thought I was interested in science, but I'm going to go check out the art course or whatever it is. And there's certain courses that they have to take as they go through their secondary career, and they might want to do it virtually online, and this is a possibility for them. I just wanted to showcase one. This is a grade 9 visual arts course. They always have different sections, so it's linked here. It's an open course. Anyone can take it. And in high school and secondary, you have to take one arts credit between grade 9 and 12. This is one that some people have done. There's always a minds on, an action, and a consolidation piece. So I just wanted to show you showcase what it looks like. And here's an example of the unit. So every single course has 20 learning activities or lessons. And within each unit, there's 5 lessons. And then there's usually an exam or a final assessment. That's the only thing missing on these, if they actually do take the course through the ILC, but the boards also have access to these courses as well. This is what the action looks like. Again, up to date, very diverse, being very mindful of that it's for all of Ontario. And the consolidation piece, I always love it because it's always bringing some sort of digital something together. It could be a podcast, it could be something from the agenda. It's all there for them to use. And this is also on TVO Learn. It's called TVO in the Classroom. And it was something that was a game changer for me, both as a parent and as an educator. You can look up over 10,000 videos, articles, games, podcasts. And what's good about it is you can look by grade. So you can put in grade 9 to 12. I'm looking for science. I really want to target cells. Videos come up, articles come up, that kind of thing. So this is just an example. I looked up science and technology, grade 9 to 12. And I was like, what am I interested in? Oh, please touch everything inside the opening, because right now we're not allowed to touch anything. The link is there. You can actually copy the link and share that with your child, or you can put it in, if you are a teacher, educator, you can put it into your classroom. So I would likely never show a whole 40-minute video, but I might send that home for homework. Or as a parent, I might want to sit down with my child and say, let's check out this Science Center video together. And this is just, I was going to just show you how to go and find it just in case. So it's education.tvo.org. They have lessons, again, K to 12, but I'm focusing on secondary. They also have some partnerships with Dairy Farmers of Ontario, some math exemplary educators, and we also are putting up the coding. So that's one thing we keep getting asked about from parents and guardians, coding in the classroom. So we're now putting that on the TVO Learn site, and Gail will be mentioning about the coding in TVO Mathify and the question bank. And I'm going to pass it over to Gail. If there is any questions, please do ask, and I will try and answer them in the chat. Over to you, Gail, and thank you so much for being here and sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you, Maureen. So I'm going to emphasize the TVO Mathify covers from grade 6 to grade 10. So it's available to all of them. Skip back, there we go. Yeah. And it's just one part of the TVO Digital, but it is a huge part, and it is an excellent resource for students. It's supported by the Ministry of Education. Skip.
Oh, sorry, it went back. I'm pressing it. It's not going. Come on, let's go. Okay, there we go.
It's supported by the Ministry of Education, and what it is free online math tutoring. It's for all grades 6 to 10 math students anywhere in Ontario, and every single tutor is an Ontario certified teacher. So it's an amazing resource for your son and daughter when they are not in the classroom with their teachers. So in other words, now they have the ability to get extra help online with Ontario certified teachers. And the number of hours that are available is huge. So the free online math tutoring, I'm going to jump to the bottom of this slide, is available from 9 until 9, Monday to Friday, and from Sunday from 3:30 until 9. And so there's lots of hours. Up until March of this year, we used to be 3:30 till 9 every day, except for Saturday. But when the schools went virtual in March, the hours were extended to go 9 till 9. And so now it is available from 9 in the morning until 9 at night, Monday to Friday. So for those students that are at home doing virtual learning, it's available for them too. TVOmathify.com. That's how you get there. So in terms of the features that it has. So first I mentioned about the tutors, 9 till 9 on Monday to Friday and 3:30 till 9 on Sunday. So how do they communicate with the tutor? So there's really two aspects of the communication. The first one, the student gets to choose, and it's completely in their hands. They can talk voice, where it can be two-way, where it's back and forth between both tutor and student, or they can choose one way, in which case just the tutor would talk, or they can choose, no, I don't want to talk at all. I want to just do texting. So those are the three choices that the student has. Whatever the student chooses, the tutor will follow suit. So that's the communication method for talking back and forth about little things about the question, but the actual doing of the question is on the interactive whiteboard. So how the interactive whiteboard works is when the student logs into Mathify, they have a whiteboard. They can put their question on the whiteboard, and then they can go choose a tutor. When they choose the tutor, their whiteboard is automatically shared with the tutor. And so now the student's whiteboard shows up on the tutor's screen, and now it becomes interactive. So both student and tutor can write, type, check, do the question on the whiteboard, and both of them can see each other's work. So it's an awesome tool in that manner. You can use it anywhere where you can connect to an internet, and you can use it from any device. It can be used from a desktop computer, a laptop, a tablet, or even from a smartphone. Although, unless there's no other option, we don't recommend tutoring from a smartphone just because the screen is so small. So all the features still work. It's just the screen is so small, it's very, very hard to do any writing on it. The entire site is anonymous and secure. You have to register to be able to get in. In order to register, the student has to have an OEN. And when they register, they put a username in there. So as long as they do not use their proper name as their username, then nobody on the site will know who they are, because they are only known by their username on that site. So when you first go on to the website page, which is at tvomathify.com, next screen, you will be at this blue screen. So that's the main page of it. And you'll see there's a message in the middle. Here it's telling you the free one-on-one grade 6 to 10 and so on. From that screen, the student would click up on the top, assuming they're already registered, they would click up in the top right and click on the login, and that orangey color screen would come up. They'd enter it. Once they entered, they will be now on the welcome screen, which is in the bottom left. So the welcome screen is their main entry. And that's where we can go to a number of different areas from there. One of the first things the student's likely to do, go ahead, Maureen, is to choose a new avatar, because their little avatar is what's going to show when they connect to a tutor. So they can scroll through, and there's got to be, I bet you, I didn't count them, but I bet you there's got to be at least 60 different choices. And they can scroll through and find a picture that they think best reflects them. Or as I tell the students, or you can decide to change your picture every day if you like. It doesn't make any difference. On the right-hand side is a sample of what the whiteboard looks like. So you can see the whiteboard is obviously white, but along the bottom are a whole lot of different tools that can be used. The other main section of Mathify is this My Stuff. My Stuff is like the student's storage locker. So all their sessions are saved, and they can save their own things there as well. So we're going to go to the whiteboard and take a look. So this is the whiteboard, but much bigger. Across the bottom, lots of different tools. As you take the mouse over top of the tools, it tells you what all the tools are. And the students are pretty fast at catching on what to do with them. But one of the best tools is that file upload, the camera with the arrow above it. It is extremely hard. If the student's going to want tutoring, they're going to need to get their question onto their whiteboard. They could write it using the pencil. They could type it using text, the text box, but there's so many math questions, especially in grade 9 and 10, where it's very involved. There's pictures, there's diagrams, there's shapes, there's angles, there's symbols, and they're very, very hard to reproduce on the board by yourself. And so the file upload allows them to upload their math question easily. The only requirement is they must have it saved on their device, whatever device they're using on Mathify. They must have it saved as a picture. So in a PNG or a JPEG file. How they get it there, they can take a picture and email it to themselves. If it's digital, they can cut and paste the little part of the question and save it. So that's what they could do in advance, then upload it and have it ready to go. So this is what it looks like when they go and upload a question. When they click on that, go ahead, Maureen, it's going to take them to their storage on their device, and they can find out where they saved it. But when they upload it, it comes in very small, right in the center of the whiteboard. But there's no question, because if you go to the next slide, you can see that you can make it very big, and you can just isolate the question that you need, that you wanted help with. So if the only question you wanted help with was number 12, you could slide it right up off to the side, so it wouldn't take up all the space on the whiteboard. One of the comments, though, you'll see across the top that there's 3 whiteboards there. It is possible to use up to 5. And so that's how you can upload the question onto your whiteboard. Another avenue is the question bank. The question bank is an absolutely awesome tool. It covers questions. There's over 200 pre-made whiteboards for the students here. It covers questions from grade 6 to grade 10. They can put in their grade, they can put in the level of their grade, they can put in the topic, and it will pull up the questions that are available there. They can then preload those onto their whiteboard, so that they can get help with one of those questions if they did not have a specific question themselves. So for instance, if they wanted help looking at what's on the screen here, if they wanted help with the Pythagorean theorem, there's 2 different whiteboards there they could choose to upload and go get help from a tutor. So that's one of the things, but they're also excellent for extra work where they can just put it on their whiteboard and they could do it. And if they wanted it to be checked, they could go to a tutor and just get it checked, or they could go to their teacher the next day and have it checked. The other thing is the teachers can assign these as lessons, discoveries, assignments, so that they can work on them and the teacher can see how they're doing on the various different things. So that it's an incredible resource and they access it from that main site, the Mathify site as well. They can also get to it by typing that address in on the bottom. But it is accessible from the very welcome page. It's on the left-hand side of the welcome page when they first came in. So all of the things that we've got here, especially the tutor, we are very cautious to make sure that it is very student-centered. So it's personalized to the student's needs. They bring their own question. So it's not like they're going to come in and say, I need help with fractions and we're going to make up fraction questions. They are going to bring the math question, the fraction question that they want help with. It gives the student choices because they decide whether it's audio or not. They decide whether they text. They decide if they even come in. It's initiated by the student. So all of the things are controlled by the student. Even the ending of the session, we will expect the student to end the session. So that's one of the keys that we try to do is we want to make this very student-centered. The whole idea is to help the student with their math questions. So the next slide shows, whoops, we missed one. Oh, no, we didn't. Sorry. The next slide shows all the different tutors we have. We have over 200 Ontario certified tutors across the province, and they work at various times through the day and through the night. The ones working through the day are all in similar situations to myself. They are not currently working in the classroom, and so therefore they may be tutoring during the day, or they could be retired teachers. In the evenings, once school is done, then it could be any of the tutors. It could be tutors that are currently teaching in the school today and they do the tutoring as a side job at the end of the day. So they come from all over Ontario, but it does not matter where they connect. So the student, it doesn't matter if the student is speaking to a tutor that's in North Bay, they will still get exactly the same connection. So let's go look at what happens in a tutoring session. So the first thing you need to do is to get the question ready. So they can either write it on the board, type it on the board, or they can upload it. And obviously I recommend uploading. Here's just one sample question. This actually is a grade 7 or 8 question, but you can imagine that it would be pretty hard for a student to try and put that on the board themselves. So get it ready before they start. Once they have it ready, see up in the top right-hand corner, they can choose a tutor. And by the way, when the tutors are online, that red line across the middle will be, across the top will be green. So they choose a tutor, and from that, the next screen will show you that they're going to have all the tutors showing up. Now, Maureen, you need to click each time.
Yeah.
So as we go through this, it automatically sorts them by their grade level. So whatever the student is listed as, the tutors that show up are going to be that grade level. It also shows you whether they're online or not. So check marks means that that tutor is available online. X's means they're not. What other information are given? Well, it tells you what their schedule is, how long they're online till, or if you look down at one of these X's, when they come online next. So both of these two say next online at 5:30, next online at 5:30, but it might say next online Monday at 7 o'clock. So it depends, it'll tell you the day and the time that they're on next. It also tells you how many students are already ahead of you. So 3 of those tutors are showing 1 user ahead, but the first one, Ali Dunn, doesn't show anybody. So therefore, if you chose that one, you'd be able to get in immediately. So there's lots of information here for the student. The student can choose which one of tutors they want, and they would choose it by clicking on connect. It is also possible for them to make them favorites. If they've been on a number of times, they find a tutor that they really like, they could go back to this screen and just click on that white star. It would change it to blue, and that would become a favorite of theirs. So once they connect to a tutor, the first thing will show up on their screen is the select audio. I mentioned to you that they get to choose. That's why it shows up on their screen. Whatever the student chooses, the tutor will match. There's two different types of audio. I'll just explain them to you quickly. She would list her grade by the math that she is taking, because when they enter the tutor's room, the tutor sees the grade level. And so therefore, and the tutors are sorted by grade level. So if you're like you said, if you're in grade 7 and you have a grade 9 math, then you want to enter as if you're grade 9. So browser-based audio means it is coming from the device that you are working on. So for instance, right now, I am plugged into my laptop with my earphone and microphone, so I am speaking to you with browser-based audio. It does not have to have your earphone and mic. You could just speak straight through the computer. The second option is phone audio, and that's when you would use a cell phone to connect for the audio portion. Don't worry, it's still secure. What happens? The student will be asked to type in their number. The TVO computer will take their number and connect it to my earphones if I was their tutor. And then the TVO computer would call their cell phone. The number showing on their cell phone will be the TVO number. And if I was using a cell phone, the number showing on mine would be a TVO number. So nobody would ever get the telephone number of the student that's calling. So once again, they cannot be identified. If the student wants one way, they just tell the tutor ahead of time in the text box, and then once they're connected by either method, then they mute on their device the microphone portion, not actually in Mathify, but on their device. Finally, they can choose no audio. And if they choose no audio, then the student is going to be typing back and forth with the tutor. So what are the processes we go through? Well, these are just some sample whiteboards where the session is already completed. And you can look at the 3 of them, and you can see the chat box up on the right-hand side of the top 2, because both of those were non-audio. The one on the bottom was audio, and there's no chat box. So one of the things to look at, though, is the way that the question was done on the board. Some of them, a lot of writing, some of them using more of the tools. It really depends on what their situation is and what they need. Now, once they're done, they've said goodbye to the tutor, they said thank you very much, whatever they're going to say, they're going to click on the top right-hand corner, end session, and they will follow through these 4 steps. The first step is, are you sure to end it? Second step is save it. Every single session is automatically saved. The only thing the student needs to supply is the name. Once they've saved it, then they have the option for an exit survey. They can skip it if they wish. I showed it to you there because I wanted them to see, I show it to the students too. I want them to see how simple it is. 2 check boxes. How did we help you with your math? And how would you rank it from 1 to 10? And then a spot to put comments. And so once they're done that, they will be taken to the next My Stuff, which is where they end it. And right there is where their session will be, automatically saved, sitting right there. They have 3 options now. They can go back for more help. I love my numbering system here. It used to look like that. They can go back for more help, in which case they would just go back to their whiteboard, set up another question, go ask a tutor. They can do that as many times as they need. They can say, I really like this tutor. I want to make them my favorite. So see down the bottom here, it tells you the name of the tutor. So they could just go click on choose a tutor, go back, find that tutor, fill in their star. Lastly, they're done. They don't have any more questions. Click on their avatar, log out, and they're out of Mathify. All their information is automatically saved. So the next page is the different comments. We get lots of comments from them, and this is just a small sampling of the different comments that we do get from the students as we go through. Skip the next one, please. So how would you register a student? I'm just going to quickly go you through and show you. To be able to register, the student needs their OEN. That stands for Ontario Education Number. It is a number that they were assigned when they first started school in Ontario, and that they will keep until the time they finish school, and it will always be their Ontario Education Number. So that number is theirs and theirs alone. If you have any of their old report cards from any grade, it will have their OEN at the top of the page. So if not, you can always get it from the school. So they need their OEN, they have to make up a username and a password, and it's recommended that they have an email. So from the main page, if they aren't registered, they would click on register. It would take them through those 3 purple screens. Their information page, that's the key one where they have to put the information is. Yes, it's only for Ontario students. The second one is security questions, and the third one means, yay, you did it. So once they are registered once, they cannot register again. If they forget their username and password, that's one of the reasons why we recommend the email. So one of the reasons I recommend the email is that they can get their password back by emailing TVO Mathify. Feedback from parents has been tremendous. I've had many situations where parents have actually sat in on the tutoring session beside their student and have been blown away with the fact that this is available online. Here's just one sample of a parent's response about how it totally helped their student throughout, their son or daughter throughout the time, and that we get those types of comments all the time. I had one comment from a principal who didn't know about it, came online with their son or daughter, and was totally blown away. And of course, took it to their school and promoted it. Okay, next page is just a quick summary of Mathify. So it's free. It's free because it's paid for by every single Ontario taxpayer. So it may as well be used. It is used very well right now, but your son or daughter may as well reap the benefits as well. It's free one-on-one tutoring for students, one-on-one, just the tutor, just the student, nobody else around. A workspace for creating and sharing assignments because you can share through them. It can be used as a teaching space. You can use those pre-done whiteboards, or teachers can make up their own whiteboards. It's easily to move from classroom to home because once they work on the whiteboard at school, they come home, whatever they were working on is still there. And there's an excellent source for different questions and sample whiteboards that are available there. The best thing you can do is to encourage your son or daughter to use it, but check it out, see what you think about it. So lastly, how might you use TVO Mathify to support your child's math learning? Thank you very much. If there's any, I'm guessing purely, my guess is math is compulsory up until the end of grade 10. The other option is the fact that once you move into the grade 11 and grade 12 streams, the math becomes very involved and a tutoring session would take so much longer. Right now, even some of our tutoring sessions in grade 10 can take up to 35, 40 minutes with one student. And so it could be even longer if we are dealing with grade 11s and 12s. Thank you very much. Back to you, Maureen.
Gail, that was amazing. Thank you. I always learn something new about Mathify. Thank you so much for going through all of it. And I know you were monitoring the chat and answering the questions as they were coming up. Again, here is all of our resources, but one caution for Mathify username, Raptors win, always a very popular one, especially for Toronto kids, already taken. But just if you have students in grade 9 and 10 and they've already created an account, they're like, I can't remember what it is, I can't find it, just email mathify@tvo.org and we will definitely look into it and find it. And that's why they register with their Ontario education number. That's more for the boards to know who's using it. And again, there's no identifier with the OEN number, it's username and whatever the child picks. And I always love the one, I had some grade sixes. They're like, I really love Taylor Swift. I said, that's fantastic. But will you love Taylor Swift when you're in grade 10? I love Taylor Swift, but will you love Taylor Swift? So I'm always very mindful of the username. So that's something that parents enjoy and guardians enjoy assisting their children with picking up. So here again is all of your resources. TVOlearn.com is our newest resources and everything is there. So if you've forgotten any links we've just mentioned, because we threw a lot out at you, it's all there for you. And is there any questions at all? And I'm just going to put up our virtual supports is there. That's all of the resources we have too. And I'm going to stop sharing. New screen, if I can stop sharing. New share. I think that's a new share. It wants to keep sharing. Pause the share, stop the share. There we go. And now I can actually see the chat. So if anyone has any questions at all, please ask us. We're here. Gail did mention about the hours of Mathify. So my secondment started 2 years ago. Mathify used to be called Homework Help, and it was 5:30 to 9:30 when I started. And I was so excited that we kept pushing and they added the 2 hours after school. Secondary school students finish anywhere between 2:30 and 3:30, and they need that math assistance right after school. They can't wait for 5:30. Some of them have, maybe not right now, but hockey, soccer practices, or they have jobs to go to. So that was something that we worked really hard at TVO to grant those extra hours. And then with everything that went on, the hours that Gail mentioned, 9 to 9, Monday to Friday, an Ontario certified teacher is available for your child. And then on Sunday afternoon, when they're like, oh, I have to get ready for that quiz or test, 3:30 to 9. And the grade levels, I was so happy. I was a grade 6 educator, so it went down to grade 6 because that was something from the data that grade 6s are really struggling in mathematics as well. It goes to grade 10, and that's the last secondary math credit they have to take. And then once they get to grade 11, the math separates, so they might have to take functions and relations or algebra. And as Gail mentioned, sometimes the questions in grade 10 for the tutoring sessions, we have had them, it seems, since September. Some of the sessions for our grade 10 learners are 45 minutes on average. And these are with our expert educators who have been tutoring for a long time. They know the curriculum inside and out. And it's just the process. They don't ever give the answers too. And I loved Gail mentioning, like, she doesn't always get into that, but I love listening into a few of the sessions every once in a while just to monitor. And they never give the answers. They scaffold and they stay on with those children until they are done. And I love that some of the students will favorite a certain tutor because they know that there's no judgment, and the math anxiety is real out there right now. We know that, and this is one tool in the toolbox that can provide that for your children. So I'm going to stop there, and if you do have any questions, please put it in the chat. And Adrienne, if you want to come back on, I'm not sure how that works. So we're very thankful for all of our parents that are here with us, sharing, supporting. We're here, and we'll send out the slide deck to Teresa, and she'll send that out however she does that on your parents engaged in education, which is awesome. It really does make a difference for us as the educators when the parents are involved in their children's education, no matter the grade. And it is a bit harder when they get older, but it does make a difference at the secondary level from all my experience. And I'm sure Gail can speak to that as well. So we really thank you. We're honored to share with you some of these resources you can use today or tomorrow.
So I just want to thank both you ladies. Thank you very much. That was there was a lot of information there, and for anyone that might have missed something, we'll be taking this video and then rebroadcasting it on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to us, again, it's a good idea to follow us on our YouTube channel. If you're looking for our YouTube channel, just go to parentsengagededucation.ca. and you'll see the YouTube link on our homepage.
Okay, I just saw one of the questions in the chat. If your child is in grade 7, please register them as a grade 7 student. And maybe in the note you could write, here's the thing, Gail will know what grade they're doing in the math. So sometimes we've had that come up and they're like, oh, they're registered as grade 7, but they're doing grade 9 math. And that does happen. We have students in grade 9 doing grade 7 math. So it's both ways. The tutors are there to assist. They are Ontario certified teachers. And if the child can just say, I'm actually in grade 7, but I'm doing grade 9 math, usually that resolves the issue right away if there's any concern at all. The tutors are there to help. And we have been getting, Gail probably can attest to this as well, a lot of grade 11 students calling in and they're like, I need help. And we're like, it's not that they'll turn them away, but it is provided for grade 6 to 10 learners. So just to be mindful of that. That's a great question. Thank you, Leila. And I'm not sure if there is any other questions. We always get that question about for our grade 11 parents. They're always like, we would like to have this available to you. So we keep asking, we can always keep asking. We're just very happy that it went to grade 6. And then the hours, that's been a game changer for parents and guardians because the hours are so different now for all of us working all different hours and times. And we're here to support students in any way we can help them. And sometimes the students are, 3:30 on Sunday, they're like, I don't know what to do. I have no idea. I forgot. They can go back and review their sessions anytime, 24/7 on their phone, tablet, computer. Most times we see they're connecting through their phones because it seems like secondary students have phones, so they're using their phones.
Romana, to answer your question, as tutors, we tutor for the length of time the student needs help. So it's a 1 question per session policy, but they can come back in 15 times in a day if they want, and they can come every day. So it's totally up to them. But if they bring a question in and it takes 5 minutes, then we're with them for 5 minutes. But if it takes 45, we're with them for 45. Does not matter how many times they come back, not restricted at all.
Mm-hmm. And that's an amazing to see the students when they started using Mathify. We had a testimonial from a parent for our telethon. They started using Mathify and they were like using it daily. And I'm like, it's available for you, use it. And their child ended up with a mark way beyond they would ever imagined. And they used Mathify continuously for the 6 weeks. And now they're not doing math. They're still doing now the question bank questions. And there's some coding questions that have just been put in the question bank for grades 6, 7, and 8. And because coding is new in the new math curriculum for grades 1 to 8, some of our grade 9s are going back and checking those questions out for grade 8. And they're like, oh, I'd never learned this. This is amazing. I really love the coding piece. So something to, if you have a grade 9 student at home, check out the grade 8 coding questions because they weren't taught that. So it's new to them as well. And it's fun. They love it. It's exciting. I love going through those questions. They're some of my favorite. Gail, anything else?
Nope, that's all for me.
Okay, great questions. And thanks, and please stay safe at this time and always. And take a break at Christmas or winter break or whatever they call it, wherever you are, take a break, go outside. Because the students I know, some of them are online 6 hours a day and they're 8 years old. I'm like, you need to sometimes take that break and go outside. But this tool is available for you. And that's why I love the hours, because some kids work best at 9 a.m. and then there's some kids that work best at 8 o'clock at night. So that's the beauty of those hours.
Romano, yes, I can. I'm going to type my email address in the...
Oh, Gail's your person. Contact Gail. She's the best at school council meetings.
Yes, so there's my address. Feel free to email me and we can arrange a time.
Yeah. And if you want more than Mathify, Gail is your Mathify, but if you want more like the TVO Learn, we can do that as well. So I'm going to actually put outreach at TVO and you can just email them. Oh, is it typing? I don't know if it's typing.
I do TVO Learn too, by the way. I
used
it. I did it in my last parent presentation. I did the TVO Learn.
Okay. And then if you ever get stuck, here's our general email that goes to all of us. Thank you so much. Thanks for what you do too. Hey, Adrian, what we did last time was we stopped the recording and then some people did ask more questions. I don't know. It's up to you.